the challenges that come from preaching the Psalms tend to be because we're not used to preaching the Psalms. We're not used to handling them as Psalms. And so what often happens is, as preachers, we can be guilty of coming in with a sort of an epistle mindset. We're used to Romans and the structured, logical progression of thought in an epistle, say. We come to the Psalms, and the way the Psalms work is not typically a structured, logical progression of thought. Instead, you have these images that are being conveyed in very brief, terse, sometimes punchy statements. And then there's implicit structure, or sometimes clear structure. Sometimes there's the acrostic memory aid approach. There's different structures going on there. And what tends to happen is we come into that and we think, well, I know how to preach. And we try to force the psalm to act like an epistle instead of letting the poetry do its work. And so if we can say, no, this is poetry, it's still theology, it's still true, it's still important, it's not in any way diminished by being viewed as poetry, but actually this is the genre that God inspired the writer to communicate this truth in, then I think as preachers we can avoid the challenge of trying to squeeze a psalm into something it isn't. And so we can let the images do their work, we can let the emotion of the psalm be felt. But that's going to take a different structure in our sermon, it's going to take a different approach. And so I think that, for me, that's the biggest challenge, letting a psalm be a psalm and then preaching it as a psalm. Once we do that, it can become a fantastic part of Scripture to preach, powerful, relevant, effective, but only if we let it be what it is.